Coming up next is the Dr. Kim Taylor Show. Here's your chance to talk about what matters to you. Although you'll receive helpful advice from Dr. Kim, remember this is not to be construed as any form of psychotherapy, diagnosis or treatment, and cannot replace a therapeutic relationship with a mental health professional. You can reach Dr. Kim by calling 564-1290 or 866-564-1290. You can also listen live on the internet at drkimtaylorshow.com. Now, here's Dr. Kim.
Welcome to the new year, and here we are in 2015. I love this time of year, not only because of the cooler weather and being able to take out my sweaters and warm coats, or being able to be home and have a fire in the fireplace, but it also just seems that a part of me really buys into the hope of a new beginning and a fresh start, and having the time to redirect my own goals and dreams for the coming year. So with any new beginning, it feels that the energy is also elevated, and it's almost contagious as other people seem hopeful and optimistic to begin again too. When you think about it, life provides us with these natural seasonal changes each year, and we should be able to take these transitions of nature within ourselves to really spend the time to reflect and take inventory with what's working in our lives, or what we may need to change, or what may need to go under considerable reconstruction, as the case may be. Oftentimes it means letting go of things that are no longer working and choosing instead to really focus on things that do. Part of the process of being able to do this is first being able to be really honest with yourself about why you're doing the things you're doing when they're no longer bringing you the results that you want. And this is where the New Year's resolutions come into play, because each year we say to ourselves at this time of year that, okay, this is going to be the year, this is going to be the time that we're going to really set a course and be on track and reach our goals. And then what happens? Well, about 2 weeks later, when our willpower gives in, it's the time that most people give up on their New Year's resolution and they go back to their old habits. Just like that, they lose momentum or willpower and the enthusiasm to stick with it. Now, even the top 10 most common picks for a New Year's resolution hasn't changed much over time. They're still to lose weight, exercise more, eat healthy, stop smoking or drinking, improve your financial budget. And this is all especially true after we've all just blown it over the holidays, whether it's your budget or your diet. The rest of them are get a better job, get organized, manage your stress more effectively, make time for yourself, etc., etc. The list just goes on and on. Making New Year's resolutions can really be a setup for failure, especially if you are making promises to yourself that you never keep. The problem is that we become so critical of ourselves when we fail that we quickly become our own worst enemy here. And setting New Year's resolutions can really kick this process into high gear as we try once more to be perfect, only to feel like a failure at the first wayward step. And then that snarky inner voice, zooms in to make us feel really defeated, and we end up being worse off than ever. So what do we do about it? Well, this is what I propose. How about that we start to set our intentions about what we want for ourselves, and that we make a deeper connection with what's truly right for us. When we first set our intentions, then we can let our thoughts and our feelings and our actions come from this new intention. And when we set our intention, we have a much more positive feeling moving forward, and it becomes more of that personal experience that I'm talking about. When we make a commitment to ourselves, really with the intent and willingness to put in the hard work so that we can achieve what we want, then our life can change. And only then can we achieve that success in whatever area it is that we choose. So, in other words, stop setting yourself up for failure when you hit that first bump in the road or the first misstep. I want you to instead see it as a combination of steps that you need to take in order to reach your goal. So it's not about being perfect, it's about being perfectly whole. And really, the only difference between those who do succeed and those who don't is those who do have a willingness to work no matter what until they reach their goal. So don't set yourself up to fail at the first moment of weakness. If you are able to manage your disappointment and really allow for these imperfections, then you can more quickly get back on track with your intention and follow through. And here's a hint. Try being your own best friend and just treating yourself as you would someone that you really love and really adore. Be kind, be forgiving, and always believe in your best intentions. Today I have with me as my guest my good friend and fellow motivator in life, Dave FRESILLI. He is from Holistic Health, Vibrant Life, and we are really going to talk about how to stay committed and follow through on your own heart's desire to reach the goals that you have set for yourself. So if you have a question today, or if you want to share about how you get motivated or stay motivated, just give us a call at 805-564-1290 or send me an email at drkim@drkimtaylorshow.com. We need to take just a quick commercial break, but stay with me and I'll be right back with my guests and your questions.
You are listening to Dr. Kim Taylor on KZSB AM 1290.
Welcome back. I'm here with my guest, Dave FRESILLI. He's from Holistic Health and Fitness. Welcome back to the program, Dave.
Hi, Dr. Kim. How are you?
I'm good. Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year to you and all your listeners out there.
Thank you. We are talking about New Year's and how everybody sets out with the intention to make changes, and that you are one that I know that is very much that we shouldn't wait for the new year to do this, but in fact that we can do this any day of the week, any day of the month. And the point is to begin right where you are at any moment in time. So what is going on here where so many people do want to change and they set out to be successful? What we know is that 88% of the people who start out to change, by the end of the year, they've already quit. So what gives? Why are New Year's resolutions so prone to end up in this kind of failure?
Yeah, well, and this is a very lovely topic. It's so near and dear to my heart because, again, being in health and wellness and in the fitness industry, this is one of the biggest times of the year when people step back up, join gym memberships, get trainers, say they're going to get healthy, just as you had said in the opening. And it's a critical time for people because we're in a position where we're saying, okay, this year, this is it, as you had mentioned, this is the time we're going to do it. But what the real issue is with resolutions or the challenges is that most resolutions that people make they're not really resolving anything. What they're really doing is they're saying, you know what, it would really be lovely if I could make this happen. It would be so nice if I stepped up and decided to start my own business or got healthier or lost the weight or, whatever that might be for you who you are as a person at that point. But the biggest thing is that we don't really sit and critically think about what is it that I truly want to create in my life. So instead of it being a New Year resolution, so a resolution for the new year, this year we're starting, but really let's step up and really say, I'm going to make a life resolution. Because that's really what we're talking about, no matter what it is. If it's about, again, getting healthier, making more money, having a new career, starting a family, buying a house, whatever it is that you want to do, this is your life we're talking about, not just the next year. So we want to get excited about creating a new life for ourselves. And again, the challenge is that when most people make resolutions, it's more of an intention of the best intention. Well, it'd be really nice if I could make this happen. But we don't really put ourselves into it, our heart and souls into it, and really say, I am going to make a committed decision to make this happen in my life because I deserve it. And more than deserving it, I am worthy of this goal. And that's important. So I want to step back for a minute when I say a worthy goal. So Earl Nightingale, he's passed, but he was a world-renowned developer in the self-development industry, said, success in anything is the consistent realization of a worthy ideal. So if you break that down, it's consistent, taking consistent action. And as you take consistent action, you begin to realize that worthy ideal. And when something is ideal for you, it means it's something that is truly ideal for you, not anybody else. It's what you truly desire in your heart of hearts. And the idea that being...
But Dave,
Go ahead.
wait,
Yeah.
because lots of people out there are probably screaming right now and saying, but I do have this very strong push. I want this really badly. And they really do want to lose weight, or they want to eat healthy, or they want to stop smoking or drinking, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
They want it really badly. So where exactly are you saying is that disconnect on how we can get connected to the right thing instead of just the wishful thinking?
Yeah.
What do we need to connect to?
Mm-hmm. Desire. In one word, desire. So, and I understand exactly what you're saying, because a lot of us are out there saying, I really, really want this.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, wanting something and truly saying, I desire it so deeply that I am not going to allow myself not to make it happen in my life. And there's a difference. So most of us are willing and used to saying, I wish this would happen. I really want this, and I really want this to happen. But with that, there's no real commitment. You have to truly commit, make a committed decision. So what we say as burning your bridges or burning your ships behind you, which means, literally, if you burn your ships behind you, you have no way of returning back to your old way. There's no vehicle or bridge that you can cross to get back there. So a lot of times we say, you have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. So I think we can all agree on what that kind of feels like. We're not fully committed. We're going to try. Trying is a pretty challenging word, because when we say, I'm going to try to do this, I really, really want this, and I'm going to try.
Mm-hmm.
But what that really means is we're giving ourselves an out, because trying means I'm going to keep 1 foot in and 1 foot out. So if it doesn't really work well, or if it gets really uncomfortable,
or hard,
I can jump back onto the other side.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's what's really challenging. People, all of us, and I've been there, I know what this is like, we have to build up this mental muscle of stepping in and really committing. And again, committing means we're not going to let anything stand in our way from, let's say, getting healthier, or creating the career that we've always wanted, or starting the new business. And when you really, really do that, and I guarantee every single one of us that's listening out there has had moments in our lives where we're saying, you know what, gosh darn it, I don't care what anybody else says, I don't care how hard this is going to, I am doing this, and I'm doing it for me. And that's making a commitment. And you know it when you make it, because you feel it inside. There's something inside you that says, you're darn right, this is going to happen now. And when you have that in your life, when you make that committed decision, then you can be sure that you're going to do it, because there's no turning back.
Well, and I think that is very true, because I think all of us have been able to achieve goals, and we do feel connected. We do feel like this time we're on it, and we do it for a while. But then what I hear often is that, and then they just kind of lose it. And so it's that being able to stay connected that I think is so important to talk to, because we aren't just talking once more about the wish. It's almost like you have to make a mission statement to yourself about what your intent is and what you're going to do to change it, and be able to do that, as what you're saying, is on a much deeper level.
That's perfect, on a much deeper level. And that's what we really have to grasp. So everybody that's listening right now, and I would tell you right now, if you're teeter-tottering and you're like, I really want this, and I'm not sure, I want you to pick up the phone right now, and I want you to call Dr. Kim so we can talk to you. But here's the thing. It has to really be so deep within you, and that's what makes that change. That's the difference, again, between trying and saying, there is no way that this isn't going to happen because I won't let it not happen. I'm going to do this. And just as you had mentioned, when you make that, you know, inside you feel it. There's a shift inside you that says, I'm doing this. And that's what it has to be.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that the only way to keep working to make this goal come true is you have to want them with this earnestness and this commitment to self. You have to stay engaged in this process. So this means it's going to take a lot of effort, like sweat and struggle. And you have to have intention. You have to have mindfulness and concentration.
Yes.
Is that it?
Yes. Well, it is. That's all of that is absolutely correct. And what's interesting is each and every one of us already knows exactly what you just mentioned to be true for us. We know deep within inside. We don't need anybody else really to tell us how to make something happen in our lives. We know. Because internally we've done this. We know what it means to fully step into what we can say to be our authentic self. That authentic self that has all the power of the universe within it and says, I know I can be and do all this. But most of us get stuck in the normal everyday life where people are going, it's really hard to lose weight. It's really hard to start your own business. I would tell you, no matter what the outside circumstances are, no matter what the economy is doing, no matter what all your friends are saying, no matter what everybody else that says that it's hard to do this, that is strictly a perception. It is what these people feel to be true. And you can certainly say, well, Dave, let's be honest. I mean, it is hard to lose weight. Look at all the people that try to lose weight that can't. And they even say, it's hard. I understand what you're saying. At the same time, I'm telling you that if you change your perception of what you're trying to create in your life and how much it means to you, that you can take on a completely new way of looking at it, what we call changing your perception, and all the so-called struggles and challenges of making that happen, you can totally start seeing that as the most wonderful, joyful life experience. And you see it now that buying the correct, if we're talking about losing weight or getting fit, going to the gym, doing your workouts, making sure you're getting plenty of sleep, making sure you're staying hydrated, going to the store and buying the good vegetables and the fruits and the high-quality meats and proteins and fats that your body needs, making sure you're cooking them, making sure you're bringing your food home, just listing them. People are going, oh, my gosh, are you kidding me? That's ridiculous, all the stuff I have to do. If you see each and every one of those actions, no matter what it is you're trying to do in life, as a gift that you're giving yourself to create this amazing health and well-being, or this incredible career, or this wonderful, fulfilling life of whatever it is, you are changing your perception of what you're actually doing and the actions you're taking, and then life becomes fulfilling, and the so-called losing weight isn't about losing weight anymore. It's about creating health and wellness. So all we're really saying is it's how you look at things.
So the key to changing the habits is to really understand also how change happens. And for the most part, it does occur by planning. It's not by wishful thinking. It really does occur by changing the choices that we make each day, shifting them so that they become more of just something that you do because it works with who you want to be, is what you're saying. Right. And so that if that's true, then you are going to make more of those healthy choices rather than the unhealthy choices.
Mm-hmm. All you have to, and you said it perfectly, all you're needing to do, and we're just saying all you need, like it's easy. And it is, by the way, you're creating a new lifestyle. So your lifestyle is the style in which you live. So each and every moment of your day right now, whoever you are out there, and by the way, I love you all out there, and I want you to think about this. No matter what you think you're struggling with, that's just the lifestyle that you've developed. It's who you believe yourself to be. So I want to ask you something, whatever it is. Let's say you want a new career and you're tired of working for somebody else. Lovely. You've been passionate about doing something your whole life, but you've been feeling like I can't. Everything has to be in line before I can do this, which it doesn't, by the way. Now I want you to ask yourself, well, what would me already living that lifestyle be doing? How would I live? What would I be doing? That's the lifestyle you have to start living and believing in. And as you start to do that, you will actually start doing those actions that will create that career, that business, that health, that well-being. Somebody who's really healthy is living a lifestyle of health and wellness.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not healthy and feeling well, a sense of well-being, that's just a lifestyle choice that you, believe it or not, whether you consciously or unconsciously did it, have chosen to live.
Mm-hmm.
So you change your lifestyle, because if you don't change who you believe yourself to be, this is what happens when people start creating or going and making changes, but then they sabotage themselves or they fall back into their own routines because they've never changed who they actually believe themselves to be.
Well, and I think you bring up a really good point, is that whether we're doing it unconsciously or in a conscious way, we are always making that choice. We are choosing to either, let's say, eat bad or not make plans for that new job, or we are consciously planning it. So we do have a choice, and I suppose in life it would be much wiser to make conscious choices. So we have to take a quick break here, but if you would like to call in, you can talk to us at 564-1290, or you can email us. Just go to Dr. Kim at drkimtaylorshow.com, and we'll be right back after this break.
You are listening to Dr. Kim Taylor on KZSB AM 1290.
If you are just joining us, I'm here with my guest, Dave FRESILLI from Holistic Health and Fitness. You can reach him by going to his website at holistichealth-fitness.com. So, Dave, you're talking about that the reason that we actually never follow through with our goals is that we don't take the time to really critically think about what our real goals are and then to feel that deeper level. And so we can often lose, whether it's the wish, the desire, a motivation, because we're kind of unfocused, we're scattered, we get a little mindless, and we become confused, and therefore we stop. So are there steps to success that you can share with us?
Oh, yeah, great. Okay. I'm ready to go. So the idea, first of all, is, as you had mentioned, and it's kind of, we like to say this, that you have to have some skin in the game.
I like that.
Meaning that when you make a resolution, that means you're resolving something, which means you're somewhere now and you're resolving to make a change for a different result. So you have to know what the result is that you truly want. So I'm going to kind of ask you a question, right? So if I say, Dr. Kim, I'm so tired of being sick, and I'm so tired of being unhealthy. I just want to be healthy. If you were able to actually, if you were the genie in the bottle, would you actually be able to give me what I want? Because my question to you is, the first question be, well, what does that mean to you? Because being healthy and fit is different for everybody, in a sense. We have a kind of an idea of what it means. So what I'm getting at is, how would you respond to that?
Part of how I would respond to that is to ask them, well, how would your life be different if you were healthy and fit?
Right. So we have to get this person to actually critically think about what it is that means to them. The meaning behind being healthy and fit. Because without that meaning, there's no feeling. We just have a kind of vague idea of what that means. Many times it really just comes down to knowing what we don't want. Well, I don't want to be sick anymore. Well, what's the difference then of not being sick? I don't know, just not being sick. Mm-hmm. Well, until you really know what that means, you have no way of knowing how to get there. So that's the first step.
So you really want them to be able to define what success would be for them in their life in this area.
Whatever it is, yes.
Okay.
So if we're talking about, again, a resolution, and by the way, folks, remember, as Dr. Kim very wonderfully said in the beginning, right now is the day, right now is the time that you make that resolution, that intention, that deep-seated desire to go forward and create what you want in life, do not wait to the beginning of a year or the beginning of a new week or the beginning of a new month to have to do something. Never put that off. Now is the time. So you must be very specific about what you are trying, or not shouldn't, I apologize, let's take trying off the table, what you are going to create for yourself. Again, whether it's a new career, starting a business, creating an amazing relationship with your husband, your wife, your children, or getting healthy, whatever it is, you have to be specific. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Because until you know that, your mind is just going to be constantly going, well, at least I gave it a shot. But I never really knew what it was, so how do I even know if I'm there? Mm-hmm. So that's the very, very most important step. Because, again, if you say I want to lose weight, my first question to you is, well, what does that mean? Is it 3 pounds? Is it 10 pounds? Is it 50 pounds? Is it 150 pounds? And if you don't know what it is, you're not going to know how to get there or whether you even got there or not. Does it mean you want to fit into your college bikini? Okay, rock and roll. You know what that means, and you know what it looks like, and you probably already remember what it feels like. That's going to give you that deep desire of, I know what it was like to be there, or at least I know what it should feel and look like to be what I want. And that gives you that deeper sense of desire and driving force in your life. So that is the very first and most important step. And remember, this resolution, this goal, this ideal, it has to be worthy for you, not that you're worthy of it. It has to be worthy for you. You are an amazing, amazing, magnificent person. So set that goal, that resolution, that intention for what you want in your life, and make sure it's so big that it is worthy of you and your magnificence.
Tell us that quote that you have on your website that's always there about the greatest danger for most of us is not that our aim is too high.
Right. So from Michelangelo. So I don't have it directly in front of me, so I'm not going to quote it verbatim. But basically, what it says is that the greatest danger is not that we shoot so high and miss our goal, but our aim is so low and we achieve it. Mm-hmm. That is really, really profound when you think about it in our lives, because most of the time what we will do is we'll set this tiny little thing and say, well, I really want to get healthy, but you know what? I'm just going to shoot to lose 5 pounds. Now, I'm not saying that that's wrong, because nothing's wrong, but the idea is what you really want in your heart of hearts. Is it really just to lose 5 pounds or to make an extra $1 an hour on your paycheck? Or is it really something bigger? Because you are meant to have an extraordinary life experience. But you can't have an extraordinary life experience if you are not willing to admit what it is and open your heart up and stand there authentically and say, I truly desire to create this life. And not be afraid of it. And not be afraid of having to take the steps to make it happen. Because if you look throughout the lifespan of mankind, and you look at the people that we look up to and say, look at what they did with their lives. They committed to creating an exceptional life. And that is what we all should do for ourselves, because I'm sorry, but no one can hand it to you. And even if they could, it wouldn't be worth anything to you, because there's a lot to be said for stepping fully into who you are and creating it for yourself. That's why you are here. Not to be given it, but for you to step up and say, this is who I am. This is who I want to be in my life, and I am going to create this for myself and then share that wonder with the world. And when you start living from that place, the passion of who you are and what you want in your life, that's when you move forward, and then that's when things, even though you may have to do all these steps, and for most people would be challenging, you will stand there and say, it may be challenging, but it is so wonderful to create this life that I'm creating because it is worthy of me.
Mm-hmm. And I think that for us to be able to help people to get there, one of the big things that we do need to talk about is how fear comes and plays a big role in all of this, because all of that sounds great and we're all charged up and we are raring to go. But what happens with the first setback, that first bump in the road, the first time we fail, or what happens then? Because that's when our fear kind of starts to take hold of us. And if we can't get past that first bump, we're hardly going to make it to the promised land that you're talking about here. And we're certainly not going to get very far in just taking steps toward that. So one of the things that I just heard, which I really liked, was that there are really two ways that we can deal with fear. The first one is that fear can either stand for forget everything and run, or face everything and rise.
Yeah.
And it is really always a choice. So that what you are saying is that, yes, no one can give this to us. And the most important thing is that we get our self-esteem by doing those things that are really hard. And then when we're really challenged and we do it and we reach that goal, that's what makes us proud. And that's what gives us our self-image, our self-esteem. So facing that fear of all that you're saying is helping people to, use it in a productive way.
Yes.
Would really get them a long way down this path.
Yeah. Yeah. And we have to understand something. Fear is just confusion. That's all that fear comes from. So if you want to step back, it's basically 3 steps. We experience stress and anxiety in our life because we're fearful of something. Doesn't matter what it is. And whatever we're fearful of, that fear is being caused by doubt. So we can say our doubt of whether we can make this happen.
Or our doubt of whether we're good enough.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. That's setting up a state of fear. And then that fear, which is an emotion, sets up an actual physical, or what we call visceral, as in organs, a visceral feeling in our body of stress and anxiety. And so it's not just a thought of, am I good enough, am I worthy enough, can I do this, I don't know how to do this. That's the doubt that sets up the fear and then creates that anxiety. But I'm going to take it even one step back further, and I know this is going to be deep, folks. Here we go. You ready?
Taking the dive.
Your true sense of doubt, beyond the whether you're worthy enough, I don't know if I'm good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not strong enough, I don't have enough money. The deeper doubt is coming from your doubt of who you truly are. You must truly start loving yourself so deeply and unconditionally that you stop judging yourself. And when you stop judging yourself, you'll stop judging whether you think you're good enough or worthy enough or capable enough to create the life that you truly want to live. So really, the cure of all this, believe it or not, is deeply loving yourself unconditionally so that you stop judging yourself.
So you're talking about forget perfection. Let that burden be for the quitters out there. And just strive to be really perfectly whole and to really let yourself engage in this whole process, which is, it's a combination of successes and setbacks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you don't look at the setbacks as setbacks. You just look at them as a way of realizing, when I do this, it has this result to it. So again, we'll go back to getting healthy or losing weight. So most people, they start off really well, and then their that self-image of, this is the way I usually do it, starts kicking in, saying, come on, eat the whatever it is that we shouldn't be eating anymore. And we start wanting that cake, that candy, the whatever it is, the Mexican food, whatever. Okay, so what happens then is, if we take that step, right, don't look at it as a failure, but just look at it as, in a sense, a scientific experiment, which is saying, okay, so every time I step back into that old way of doing things, the result I get is I feel terrible the next day because my gut's killing me. And, oh, look at that, I gained 2 pounds. That's not really the goal of what I was looking for. I'm here to get healthy. So, okay, I'm learning something. It's not a failure. You're literally learning how not to do the things to create what you truly want. So this is exactly what happens in every inventor's path of creating what they need to. That's all it is. You learn by, in a sense, we call it failing, but you're not. You're just learning 100 different ways of how to make a light bulb.
Okay, so if you're looking at all of this, there's just steps to take to your goal, and all of them just lead you to the next step. If one is working well, you keep going. If one is not working so well, you might change it and move on to something that works better.
Do you see how simple this is?
Yeah, it is so simple. I hear you going to say it gets slippery now, right?
That's exactly it.
Okay, so
we get caught up in our own talk.
Yeah, so hold that thought, and we need to take a quick break, and I'll be right back.
You are listening to Dr. Kim Taylor on KZSB AM 1290.
My guest for the hour is Dave FRESILLI, a health and fitness practitioner. He's been studying for years about the human body and how to get it moving and motivated. And we are talking about how to keep our New Year's plans so that it is something that becomes just a way of life for us, and that we start to just move into who we truly want to be, and we let that be what leads us. So we do have to work through our fears, Dave. We have to work through setbacks. We have to work through the failures that we might have to really feel this feeling of success and really winning against all of these odds. Are there more steps that you have for us that really help keep us on track right now?
Yeah, thank you. So again, the first thing is you need to be specific about what it is you're creating in your life. Now, when you get specific, you absolutely need to write it down, because we know that until you write it down, it's just kind of floating out there. You need to be able to write it down as specific as possible. So get a nice journal and write it in that journal, post it all over your house. It should be with you all the time. Until then, again, it's just a wish. The second thing you want to do is, once you know what it is that you want to create in your life, find a mentor. Now, it doesn't mean that you personally have to know the mentor. That would be lovely. But if you know someone, whether they're famous or not, who has done what you want to create in your life, find out about them, find out how they did it, so that you can follow in their success steps. Get as much information as you can to start right away, but don't wait until you think you have everything you need in place, because you'll never do it. Don't worry about that. Start from right where you are with what you have and move forward with confidence in yourself. And then it's really important to listen to your intuition and not your fears. Do not listen to your fears. Your fears are just like this little child who doesn't know any better, that's just literally throwing a tantrum saying, I don't want to change, I don't want to change. No matter how nice the change will be, it's afraid to change. You have to allow that to just let go as a little child and just not pay attention to that, and listen to your deeper sense of love and the intuition you have for yourself. And then surround yourself with people, for a support team, who are very positive and will support you in what you're doing. Now, you got to be careful with this. We always love going to our family, and we love going to our friends. The challenge is our family, a lot of times, and our friends who know us dearly are the first people that will go, it's going to be really hard to do that. Well, I saw you doing this over there. Are you sure you really want to do this? Not the people that, it doesn't mean you walk away from your family and friends. It just means that you find the correct ones that will really support you in this. And then you need to be consistent in your daily actions, and don't look back. Only set your eyes on the prize. You need to only see what you're creating, and don't look back at what was. And then more than anything else, you need to truly start believing in yourself so deeply. Believe that you can do this, no matter how challenging it may be. And when you truly start to believe in yourself, you will move through those fear points, you will move through the challenges, and you will continue on with that.
Okay, now people are really very prone to give in to their old patterns, their old habits. And this happens, really quickly without even a conscious thought. They just revert back to it because we're so hardwired sometimes just in our brain that they can fall back into that. So we have a couple of moments here. What is it that you would say as we close this out about the best thing that people can do in order to work through those slip-ups and changing those habits?
Mm-hmm. So, and that's exactly what you're saying. So again, your self-image, it's deep within your subconscious. So this is what drives you forward pretty much each and every moment of your day without you even thinking about it. Because you don't think about, I have to think this way to be Dr. Kim. You just are. That's because of your self-image. You change your self-image by starting to believe yourself to be something more. So whatever it is, that's why you have to get very clear on what you want to create in your life, this resolution, whatever it is, and you have to get very clear on it and start literally believing it to be true, even though it is not true yet in your life. And as you do that, you literally start changing the conditions of your self-image, and you will then start to be that person in all your thoughts, your words, and your actions. So I want to share something because I know we only have a moment here, but this is critical. So for all of you who are just saying, my gosh, I try this every year and it's just so hard. This is a quote from Calvin Coolidge that I use all the time, and it's really, really lovely. And it says, press on. Nothing in the world can take the place of perseverance. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. Press on.
You can reach Dave FRESILLI at his website at holistichealth-fitness.com, and from there you can find his podcasts and how to get a private consultation with him. Once more, Dave, thank you very much for coming on the program. There's so much that we can talk about, so of course I will have you back on. And as you say to me all the time, I certainly wish you a vibrant life and Happy New Year.
Love you guys.
Thanks. I'll be right back after this short break.
You are listening to Dr. Kim Taylor on KZSB AM 1290.
Thank you for joining me. I sure hope that you're feeling up and ready and on with your own pursuits and your own dreams in this new year. And that by hearing Dave and hearing some of the things and some of the tips that we talked about, you are able to go to that deeper level and really commit to yourself and have the passion for yourself. And then the big takeaway from this was just remember to dream big and live it big. You can reach Dave by going to his website at holistichealth-fitness.com, but I will also put that on my website for you. And if you would like to send me an email, you can do so at drkim@drkimtaylorshow.com. I would love to hear from you. And if you want to listen to any past shows, you can find them as podcasts on iTunes. Just check it out, the title of The Dr. Kim Taylor Show. My show can be heard again on the rebroadcast Thursday evenings at 10 p.m. and Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. So thank you, Mark Giles. I'm very glad that you're here with me at this 5 o'clock hour, and I hope that you all out there will join me again next Thursday, live at 5. In fact, put it down in your date book that I will be here, and tell your friends. I'm Dr. Kim Taylor, and remember, nobody else has to change in order for you to get better.